Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and it is, Monday, February the 26th. I almost said December, but it is February as we start this. We're near the end. We're heading up on March. Before long, the first quarter will be gone of this year. Can y'all believe that? As we meet each other each morning, time is literally flying by, isn't it? 45 right now. We've had some up and downs. When I first got here, it was 49. The temperature started dropping before daylight. We had a wind chill of about 41 at one point. We're at 45 now, but don't worry, we're headed for a high of 80 today. Isn't that wonderful? It's going to be nice. It's almost like that perfect springtime weather as these days heat up. I really like that. And we're also going to tell you all about the threat of severe weather. A lot of people have pushed that it would be bad. As I keep looking, all this is going to stay north to us. We're going to have some winds, but that looks to be about it at this point. That's what's good. That's the good silver lining to anything. But keep in mind, as we head into this March, April, May, it always brings severe weather, as always. And we'll be watching this behind the scenes as your weather choice to let you know when and how it all happens each and every day. How do you feel today? I hope good. Tracy, that's right. Change begins in you. That is correct. We are ready for some news. We've got it. We're going to tell you all that's going on around the country and some local stuff. The morning show will get underway at 7. Dan Darrington's going to be in this morning to tell us what's happening in Meridian tomorrow. We'll be right back. Let's head out for a good message, as we always need the good Lord up above giving us a little inspiration there. Let's check in Collinsville.
When you join the Army, one of the first things you're given is a pair of combat boots. You see, what's on your feet is very important because it protects you in so many ways. It protects your feet from the hot and cold around you. It protects your feet from the terrain underneath you. It protects your feet from injury in the midst of combat, and it protects your feet from slipping in moments of action. So a soldier's footwear is a crucial piece of the armor that he puts on. A soldier in his combat boots is ready for battle. So as we continue walking through the armor of God that the Holy Spirit encourages us to put on amid spiritual combat, we come to the boots of the gospel of peace. The gospel is often associated with our feet because we're to go and make disciples of all nations. And so as we travel about life, our feet take us there and we share the good news of Jesus, win people to Christ and disciple them. As Apostle Paul reminded us, how beautiful are the feet of those who preach the good news. So we always have to be ready to deploy the gospel in any spiritual battle. Now, why is that? Because it is the gospel of peace. You see, through the gospel, you can have three aspects of peace. Peace with God, peace within yourself, and peace with man. And so in that spiritual battle, when the devil reminds you of all your sin against God, bring to bear the gospel of peace to protect you from that lie. You've been forgiven when your anxiety gets all stirred up. Bring the gospel of peace to remind yourself that you are safe in the Father's hands. And when the devil stirs up enmity between you and another person, the gospel of peace can extinguish that strife because he who has been forgiven much forgives much. So wherever the gospel of Jesus is brought to bear and is received, peace is the result. Like combat boots, put on the gospel of peace to win that spiritual battle. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Always welcome to go in person. Drop by and see Brother Ben and all the fine folks there in Collinsville. They'll be opening up the doors about Wednesday around 6:30, and they'll do it all again on Sunday. There's a lot that goes on in between those days. If you need a church, what a great place to drop by. Matter of fact, there's probably one within 10 to 15 minutes of where you live. Find you one. Enjoy yourself there. As we start headlines this morning, we go to Kentucky, one of the worst calls that a parent could ever receive. We see that a Kentucky student has been found dead in his dorm room. A teammate from a wrestling match has been arrested in connection with the murder of the young man. We don't know what prompted it, but what an awful call to get. Kentucky is where that all happened. Stanley. Well, I'm talking about Stanley, the cups. Y'all have seen this craze around America of everybody having to have that pink cup. If you get popular, well, expect it. They're getting sued now. All because they say that Stanley hid, and from what I've read, it's not going to hurt you, that somewhere in the cup it has some lead in it. So there's a lawyer. It's kind of like Camp Lejeune. Sue now. Hurry. Stand in line. They're attempting to put him out of business, most likely. somebody wanting their piece of the pie. And again, what I've read is not harmful to you. It's just some type of product that's sealed that wouldn't hurt you. Competitors sometimes do that, don't they? We'll see what happens with it. Louisiana, and this would go up to, if you're familiar with New Orleans, Kenner, which is just west of the city of New Orleans. We had got an inmate on the run. He was arrested. He somehow or another pepper sprayed the police officer that was going to be transporting her, squirted her, took her pepper spray and her patrol car. She fired a shot. He still got away. They're looking for him. All of this happened this weekend. Always be careful. Now, I don't think this will turn out like the Alabama deal did, where they were going to the doctor and we found out more about that. This honestly was one of those where he overpowered the guard or transporter, stole her car. They're urging everybody to be careful on this in Louisiana. Doesn't want to go back to jail. We know how that is. And we'll tell you about that coming up at 7 o'clock as more of this. His name is Leon Ruffin. Keep that in mind if you're in the Louisiana area. I know a lot of people watch us from the New Orleans area, black male. Another thing that is coming to the U.S. of A government is the safes. Now, I've never used them. I'm sure that there's a lot of Americans do it, that you put your gun in, that it's supposed to be, and you do a handprint. Turns out they're not so safe after all, as in you go up to it and it would open without even a combination. The safes that have been made since 2019, no one's been killed. They did have one incident of some children getting a hold of a gun. They've got over 120,000 biometric gun safes that they say were opened without authorization, which means you can go up and just get in it. Bulldog cases, awesome. Mitre, if I'm pronouncing that right, and Myotech brands, some of which date back to 2019 through now. They're doing a big recall on them. A lot of people use those. It just depending, I'm trying to find the right words for that. Some people do that. You always should put your firearms up, but I've always had that if you needed it, how could you get in it in time?
Teach your kids about a gun and they won't have to worry.
Respect. It's all about training. But I've always had that fear. If you needed it, the bad guy's not going to go, wait, let me run over here and put in my combination. Whoa, wait a minute. It doesn't work that way in the real world. And again, I'm not trying to sway anybody from putting things up. I'm just saying respect and teach what they do. The training is the only way around this. Let's see here. I don't know enough about NFL anymore. Maybe you do. Richard Sherman, he's now a TV commentator. Played ball really good. He's been arrested, and they're wording it on suspicion of DUI. Shame. We had a lot of that throughout the county and the Meridian area over the weekend. I don't know what it is with drinking and driving. We had 2 or 3 that were passed out at the wheel, still sitting in their car behind it. It takes lives. Be careful. Martha Stewart went to jail for this. Insider trading. Isn't that what it was called?
Yeah.
What happens when you're... We've seen this in Congress before, and they all deny it, to where certain people have information and their spouses go make investments and get filthy rich. I mean, really, truly, how do you make $150,000 a year, have a car note, a house note, and children in college, and walk away a millionaire, multi-millionaire 20 years later? Doesn't add up. The financing does not work. We see a Texas man who's going to be doing some jail time most likely. He was eavesdropping on his wife's conversation on her job and used it for insider training. He's done real well. He was good at it. Made $1.76 million. That paid off for him up until now. Rump row, as they say. This is one of those, I'll paint the ending story for you. An inmate. He's been in jail for some 50 years. Everybody at the prison seems to like him now. Even the warden looks at him as one of his favorites there. He writes poetry. Seems like a good guy, but, well, let's turn back the hands of time. Now, he's set to be executed. He's 73 now. They know 5 for sure. He beat to death an inmate with a sock with batteries in it. Hadn't done anything in 50 years, but he still killed at least 5 and has a connection to about a dozen. And at one time said that he was connected to 50 people. They couldn't prove that and think that maybe he was just bragging, but they do connect him to at least 5 and possibility a dozen. He's set to be executed. Well, there's people going, wait a minute, he's harmless now. How do you feel about that? He still did what he was sent to prison. 50 years is a long, long time.
For us to pay.
Yeah, and that has been. Citizens have been paying this every day. 50 years of that. Oh, have you heard? Now, this is how America will take the truth and try to flop it. Every time that there's an election here locally, whether it's national, state, or let's go ahead and jump to a presidential race. You have an election and say 63% of the people choose one person. That leaves 30-something%, almost 40% on the other side. And they go, well, 40% of the people don't like you. There's no way you could be president. That's the way it is in every election, America. Every election. When you get to the Democrat-Republican runoff, it will also be whoever gets over 50%, meaning that whatever that percentage doesn't like you.
Doesn't matter.
If you haven't heard, Donald Trump walked away, and I mean walked away within 30 seconds of the polls closing, them going, yep, we got a winner. 60, I think it ended up being maybe 63% is what he got. Nikki still says, I'm not going away, although the Koch brothers have pulled their money from her. They even know that there is absolutely no way. She says that she made a promise to the American people and she will not bow out. Others say, Nikki, if you ever plan on running for another office, you hanging around will hurt you in the future. And I agree with that.
I do too.
She is not the woman for the job. Will there be a woman president one day? It sure will. We all know that it is coming. It's not going to be Hillary, and it's not going to be Nikki.
The world isn't ready for that yet.
Yeah, they're just not. I don't think Nikki is the woman for it. She couldn't handle South Carolina. She can't get South Carolina to even vote for her. We'll see what happens. But Koch brothers pulling the money. And as you go for this, y'all always remember this. Whoever these big campaign donors are, like the Koch brothers, they ask for favors later. Never forget that. Y'all know that. If your buddy borrows your trailer and you need help moving a piece of furniture, who are you going to call? That person that borrowed your trailer that owes you. Hey, could you swing by to help me pick this up? It's just part of life. And we know that. The other guy who didn't, the first time he ran, didn't take any money from anybody. That really made people mad. It made them not like him because, well, he didn't owe anybody and he could do what he wanted. They're really mad at him still. They've tried to put him in jail numerous times. I think y'all know the story to this. He's running for president. We'll see if the rest of America is ready for that again. We'll see. That's the headlines dealing with all of this morning. Sad news as we go to Alabama. A judge has been shot over the weekend. His son allegedly has done this. It was in Montgomery, Alabama is where this happened. An argument happened, a domestic. He shot his father and ran. Judge Johnny Hardwick has been shot and taken to the hospital. We do hope there's a speedy recovery with this. And there's just really, what do you say with these domestic things? You would be shocked of just how much time, if you were to go down the call logs of the police, even here, of what they do and what they respond to, of how many of these are where families can't get along and the police are called to break it up. That's not their responsibility to come break up these family fights. And that's where our police officers get hurt. Because people lose their common sense. I don't know what the word that I'm looking for in this, but they lose judgment when it comes to family members. They get rage and, well, they make bad decisions. And as we all know what happened to one of our own here in Meridian. We do see now that she is admitting, I better go ahead and pack my bags. She is getting ready for a little vacation. Who am I talking about? Ronna McDaniel. Well, she's the chair for the Republican National Committee. She knows that somebody with a train is coming and, well, doesn't like her. She's got to go.
And done told her to go.
He's told her, you need to resign because I will make sure you don't have a job. She sees the writing on the wall, and she's going on. Oh, if you lost your phone service last week, was it Friday we went out? Don't worry, AT&T is going to help you out. They're giving you a $5 credit on your next bill. Whoop, whoop. How many of you lost business deals due to that? That happened. Y'all know that. Flump, you couldn't call who you needed to. Let's hope that there was no emergency. Now, I don't know this, and I was talking there. During something like that, does 911 still work on a, or is it down too?
It's either a landline or an internet protocol.
So it would work, the 911 would still work during a phone outage like that?
And SOS should still allow.
SOS would make it work.
911
Okay. I'm glad you clarified that because I really didn't know the answer to that. That was kind of scary, wasn't it? It was. Losing all of that. It shows you, and y'all never forget this, if someone wanted to hurt our country, there's two things that they do, communications and power. America has gotten so used to technology that they wouldn't know where they were. They wouldn't be able to drive to town. Well, I never look where I'm going. I just put it in my GPS. Y'all know that. And do not think, let me put it this way, back to this phone thing. If you believe that the pizza guy got into the most number 2 home in America that has Secret Service all around it to deliver pizza with a hammer in his hand, and he just walked in, then you might believe that that wasn't a hack. Do I have proof of that? No, but I'd be willing to bet my last wooden nickel that that's what really went on with that.
We call that a test.
Yeah, it's a
Wait till
test.
see what's next.
We do know that there's bad people in America now. There's people that want to harm us. And each day they try a little bit more. You've seen this even on local levels where they hack into things and they do a hostage situation for your information. Or you give us $50,000 or we delete everything that you've got. Some give in. All this stuff is scary. People want to harm us. Y'all just watch this. Believe half of everything that you see and hardly anything that you read. There's a narrative out there. They don't want to tell you everything. We all know that. Coming up, we've got your forecast. That's right around the corner. Don't rush off. We'll let you know exactly what's happening. We'll be right back with all of that. If it's crossed your mind about a new tractor, visit my friends at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 here in Collinsville. They got any style, any size that you're looking for. And right now, you can take advantage of getting a new tractor, a trailer, and a bush hog, all for $31,000, 0% interest for 84 months. Yeah, 0% for 84 months. Also, a great service department to work on any tractor that you have. From bush hogs, disc, and tillers, see it all at Freeman Tractor, Highway 494 in Collinsville.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
As we look at what is going to be happening with severe weather, as I told you, I felt that this would be north of us. And we're going to get some wind Tuesday, maybe a little bit on Wednesday. The worst of the wind will be Tuesday. But the severe weather will stay north of us as we pull this up here for you to take a look here and go to Meridian Honda radar. Tennessee, level 1 as we get north of there. And we get into Missouri and areas like this, into Illinois, Chicago, Indianapolis, Indiana. Right around in there is going to be where the severe weather will be tomorrow. It will stay well north of us. So no needs to worry of that, but we will have wind like we will today. Matter of fact, let's get into what our forecast holds.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back to take a look at our record highs and record lows, here it is, 2021, not that long ago. It was a warm 86. We'll get close to that today with a high of about 80. Our lowest recorded was 1965. It was 21 degrees on today. Guess so Punxsutawney Phil saw a shadow that year. We have clouds in 79 to 80, depending on where you are. As we go north, we'll hit 76 there in Columbus, about 75 at Mississippi State, and down the river hovering about 79. Across into Bama land, we'll see 77 at Tuscaloosa, may see 75 to 76 there in Birmingham, and should be right around 80 again at Demopolis, Alabama, there at the river. This is what we're talking about on winds for tomorrow. We'll have it stronger in the Mississippi Delta the further you get closer to Tennessee and those areas. Our area will see a level 1. What does that mean for you? Gusts of about 30 to 40 miles an hour. So keep that no burning today or tomorrow. Let me stress that after a weekend of fires. Here's what we got. Look at that hot. Oh, yeah, it's here. Let's go ahead and look at this forecast as we'll see 79 to 80 today. Tomorrow we'll get up to 82 to even 83. 0% chances of rain at the first part of the week. We do have a 40% chance, and this is where everybody was kind of worried that we could get severe weather. It's only a 40% chance of the showers, and again, the storm should stay north of us. It's Mother Nature. We'll watch it closely for you there. As the weekend comes back, not bad at all. Just 20% chances of rain over the weekend, but highs of 67 to 70. It is the perfect time of year. This weather is great. We can't complain a bit. Now, we do see thunderstorms in the horizon on the 4th. We'll see that on the 5th as well. And as we move on down, rain chances there nearly every day of some degree through about the 4th all the way through the 11th. It could be a wet March, couldn't it? We'll keep a close eye on this to keep you updated with all of this. Now, what's happening with the fishing? Anybody wanting to do that? Every time we have a sunny day, it's so fun to drive across Oak Tibby. It is filled with people. Bonita Lakes is filled with people out about doing things. As we pull this up, here it is. Our best chances to fish today is going to be around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Be there by 1:20. Set up. Get your worms ready. Get your baits all ready to go. Should be good through about 4 o'clock. It'll be way after dark before you have a second chance to be good at it. Now, the wind's going to be 5 to 10. Again, gusts could be up to 25 miles an hour today. Backlashes happen. Fish with the wind if you're going to be out there. And again, no matches for no reason today, tomorrow. It'd be ugly. That's what we know on all of that. Alrighty, 6:52. We've got a studio full of folks. We're ready for today's morning show. We're going to tell you about what's going on locally. Oh, yeah, we've got someone arrested, back in custody. We'll tell you who, what, when, and why. All of that coming up at the top of the hour. I hope you'll stay with us. We'll tell you what happened over the weekend as you slept. All of that and more coming up at 7 o'clock with Scotty Ray and Odie at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.